Did you know that just a few seemingly harmless habits at night can silently shorten your lifespan? Many people over 70 haven't woken up after a seemingly peaceful sleep, not because of fate, but because of small mistakes in their daily bedtime routines. Welcome to Best Senior Sleep, where we awaken peace and restore health through deep sleep. In today's content, we will explore 10 nighttime habits that are silently threatening the health and lives of seniors. Have you ever fallen asleep with the TV on or woken up feeling tired, dizzy, or short of breath? These signs aren't simply due to age. They could be warnings from your own body. And most importantly, these risks are entirely preventable with just very small changes starting tonight. Let's begin. First, the habit of keeping devices near your bed could be silently poisoning your heart and brain. Sleeping with a mobile phone right next to your bed has become a nearly universal habit. Many people use their phones as an alarm clock for relaxing music, or even see it as a companion during late night hours. But few people know that this seemingly harmless habit can bring serious health risks, especially after age 70. The first danger is continuous exposure to the blue light emitted from phone screens. Even when the screen is off, notification calls or blinking lights in the night can interrupt your natural sleep cycle, also known as your circadian rhythm. Blue light inhibits the production of melatonin, the hormone responsible for creating deep restorative sleep. Without this deep recovery sleep, the body cannot regenerate properly, increasing the risk of cardiovascular disease, cognitive decline, and even dementia. Additionally, there are increasing warnings about continuous exposure to electromagnetic waves emitted by phones even in standby mode. Some studies suggest that the accumulation of this exposure over time can affect the function of the nervous system and increase oxidative stress in brain cells. Although there is no absolute scientific consensus on the long-term effects, yet the potential risks are enough for us to be cautious, especially in older adults, a group more sensitive to environmental factors. Another worrying point is the indirect risk of causing insomnia and anxiety. Having your phone within reach encourages us to check messages, social media, or news during the night. This connection fragments sleep, increases brain alertness, and hinders the nighttime recovery process. In the long run, this can cause exhaustion, irritability, and even depression. To minimize these risks, experts recommend keeping phones far from the bed, ideally outside the bedroom or on airplane mode. Ideally, keep the sleeping area free of distracting electronic devices. Using a traditional alarm clock and creating a habit of screen-free time before bed are simple actions that bring significant benefits. Protecting your sleep is protecting your mind and your heart. Second, a seemingly harmless mistake could cause you to faint or fall in the middle of the night. Getting out of bed in the middle of the night might seem simple, but for people over 70, it can become a real minefield for health. Have you ever felt dizzy, your vision dimming, or a slight loss of balance when you just got out of bed? These signs could be the result of a condition called orthostatic hypotension. This is a sudden drop in blood pressure when changing positions quickly, especially when moving from lying down to standing up. The body needs a few seconds to adjust, and during this time, blood may not reach the brain, fully causing dizziness, fainting, and in many cases, serious falls. Studies show that falls at night are one of the main causes of bone fractures in older adults, with hip fractures being the most common and also the most dangerous. A simple fall can lead to extended hospital stays, loss of mobility, dependence on others, and in more severe cases, can even lead to death. The risk increases even more when the environment is dark, the floor is slippery, or if the person is dehydrated. Often taking blood pressure medication or sleeping pills can also contribute to this loss of balance. The most alarming thing is that most of these falls can be prevented with just small changes in behavior. Getting up slowly is the first essential attitude. When you wake up, sit up on the bed and wait a few seconds before standing up completely. This time is enough for blood pressure to stabilize and blood to flow properly to the brain. Another important measure is to keep a small night light in the room or on the way to the bathroom. Completely avoid dark environments as this further affects your ability to maintain balance. Using anti-slip slippers and fixed rugs also helps prevent slips and falls. And never underestimate the importance of staying hydrated. Drinking small sips of water throughout the day helps the circulatory system function well. Avoiding this dangerous habit not only protects you from falls, but also ensures safer and more restful nights. Third, seemingly harmless medications could be destroying your health while you sleep. Taking a pill before bed has become a habit for many older adults. Whether it's for insomnia, pain relief, or blood pressure control, using medication at night seems like a safe and even necessary practice. But do you really know what is happening to your body while you sleep under the effect of these medications? The big problem is that some common medications, especially sedatives, can affect vital functions during sleep, such as breathing and blood circulation. Medications like diazepam, clonazepam, and others in the benzodiazepine group directly affect the central nervous system, reducing brain activity to induce sleep. However, this very effect can also reduce the breathing rate, cause apnea, and increase the risk of nighttime breathing pauses, especially in people who already have heart or lung problems. Furthermore, these types of medications also cause drowsiness the next day, confusion, and reduced reflexes. The consequences include an increased risk of falls, when waking up, loss of self-control, and even the onset of dementia. Another concerning group of medications are those for lowering blood pressure taken at night. In some cases, they can cause a sudden drop in blood pressure during sleep, reducing blood flow to the brain and heart. This imbalance can lead to silent ischemia arrhythmias, and in extreme cases cause a stroke or heart attack while the person is sleeping. There are also anti-inflammatory medications taken to relieve joint pain before bed. Continuous use of active ingredients like ibuprofen or diclofenac can overload the kidneys and liver, affecting the elimination of toxins and impairing the body's balance. To minimize these risks, the first step is absolutely never to self-medicate. Talk to your doctor about the real necessity of each medication and see if there are safer alternatives for nighttime. In many cases, adjusting the timing or dosage can make a big difference. Additionally, natural techniques such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, or drinking herbal tea can help you fall asleep more easily without affecting your health. Fourth, holding urine at night could be silently harming your kidneys without you even knowing. How many times have you woken up at night needing to go to the bathroom but tried to hold it in to avoid getting out of bed? This habit, common among many people, seems harmless, but after age 70, ignoring the urge to urinate at night can cause serious damage to your health. As we age, kidney function becomes more sensitive. The kidneys continue to filter blood throughout the night, but the bladder's capacity to hold urine decreases. When we hold urine for too long, we increase the pressure inside the bladder, which can lead to urine backing up into the kidneys, creating conditions for urinary tract infections, and in more severe cases, potentially causing kidney failure. Additionally, this accumulation can irritate the bladder, leading to inflammation, painful urination, and increased urgency during the day. What's more, regularly holding urine can also affect sleep. The discomfort keeps the body in a state of alertness, making it difficult to enter the deep sleep stages, the most restorative periods. Fragmented sleep is directly linked to disorders such as depression, memory loss, hormonal imbalance, and an increased risk of heart disease. Many older adults avoid getting up to urinate because they are afraid of falling, especially if the environment is dark or they have a history of accidents. Therefore, it is essential to adopt simple safety measures such as using a small nightlight, installing grab bars near the bed or in the bathroom, and wearing anti-slip slippers. Another important tip is to avoid drinking a lot of water about 2 hours before bedtime. During the day, staying adequately hydrated is necessary, but at night, you need to balance the amount of water you drink so as not to overload the bladder. If you frequently need to urinate at night, talk to your doctor. There may be underlying conditions behind this symptom, such as an enlarged prostate urinary tract infection or hormonal changes. Avoiding this simple habit can protect your kidneys, improve sleep quality, and most importantly, maintain your independence. Fifth, an unsuitable bedroom temperature could be silently damaging your heart. On cold days, everyone wants a cozy room to sleep in. Thick blankets, closed doors, the heater on, all seem ideal for a good night's sleep. But is sleeping in an overly warm environment really safe, especially after age 70? The answer might surprise you. During sleep, our bodies naturally lower their internal temperature to reach deeper, more restorative resting stages. This cooling process is essential for proper metabolism, cell repair, and memory consolidation. When the room is too hot, this temperature regulation process is disrupted. The body has to work harder to try and dissipate heat, and this extra effort forces the heart to work more. Studies show that very warm environments at night can increase heart rate and blood pressure. This combination is especially dangerous for older adults who are already more susceptible to cardiovascular diseases. Furthermore, excessively high temperatures can cause dehydration at night. When you sweat during sleep, your body loses important fluids and your blood tends to become thicker. This thickening of the blood increases the risk of forming blood clots, strokes, and silent heart attacks during the night. Another less noticed problem is that stuffy rooms reduce air quality. The environment contains more carbon dioxide and other pollutants, which can cause difficulty breathing, especially in people with lung problems like COPD or asthma. To protect your health, the ideal temperature in the bedroom should be maintained between 18 and 22 degrees Celsius, about 64 to 72 degrees. Avoid using overly heavy blankets and bed linens that retain too much heat. Prefer light and breathable fabrics like cotton. If possible, use a fan or humidifier to keep the air circulating. Cracking open a window a little also helps balance the temperature and improve air quality. Sleeping in a well-ventilated environment at an ideal temperature isn't just about comfort. It is an important protective measure for your heart and brain. Sixth, the deadly dinner. What you eat before bed could be a factor causing heart attacks. A delicious meal at the end of the day sounds like the perfect end to a good night's sleep, but is that hearty dinner or late night snack helping or harming your heart? For people over 70, this habit can be much more dangerous than you might think. As we age, metabolism slows down and digestion becomes more difficult. Additionally, the cardiovascular system becomes more sensitive to overload, especially at night, when the body should ideally be resting and recovering. Eating heavy foods before bed, like pasta, fried foods, fatty meats, or sweets, forces your body to continue working while you sleep. The stomach needs to digest, the liver needs to process, and the pancreas has to deal with spiking blood sugar levels. Meanwhile, the heart, which should be resting, is forced to pump more blood to the digestive system. This extra effort can create sudden spikes in blood pressure, arrhythmias, and even silent heart attacks during sleep. Furthermore, dinners rich in fats and refined carbohydrates increase the risk of gastroesophageal reflux. When a person lies down immediately after eating, stomach acid can flow back up into the esophagus, causing a burning sensation, coughing, and in more severe cases, leading to respiratory problems like aspiration pneumonia. This reflux condition is also linked to sleep apnea episodes, a disorder that affects breathing and further overloads the heart. Fortunately, just a few small changes can significantly reduce these risks. Avoid eating for about 3 hours before bedtime. Prioritize light meals with vegetables, whole grains, and lean protein like grilled chicken or fish. Easy to digest foods help the body transition to a state of rest more easily. If you feel hungry before bed, choose a healthy snack. A fruit, a small container of plain yogurt, or a handful of nuts are good options. With these smart choices, you protect your digestive system, allow your heart to rest, and ensure a more restful night. Seventh light is preventing you from sleeping and increasing the risk of serious illness. Many people have the habit of leaving lights on in the bedroom at night. Whether it's due to fear of the dark for convenience, getting up to use the bathroom, or simply habit, this action seems harmless. But science has shown that sleeping with any kind of light on can directly affect your health, especially after age 70. At night, the brain needs complete darkness to produce melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep and signals the body that it's time to rest. The presence of light, even dim light, tricks the body and reduces the production of this important substance. Without enough melatonin, sleep becomes shallow, fragmented, and less restorative. This imbalance doesn't just affect rest, but also impacts the activity of the entire body. Studies show that exposure to light while sleeping can increase the risk of high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, obesity, and even some types of cancer. In older adults, the lack of complete darkness is associated with a higher risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's and dementia. Another concerning impact is on the immune system. Without deep and uninterrupted sleep, the body's protective cells are not renewed properly, making the body more susceptible to infection and inflammation. Furthermore, continuous exposure to light during sleep affects mood memory and the ability to concentrate the next day. But it's not just bright light that's harmful. The blue light from electronic devices like TVs, digital clocks, or LED chargers also harms the brain during sleep. Therefore, it's essential to turn the bedroom into a dark and quiet environment, creating favorable conditions for quality rest. The tip is very simple. Turn off all lights before going to bed. If you feel you need one, use an amber-colored nightlight. This type of light has less impact on melatonin production. Blackout curtains also help block outside light. Sleeping in darkness isn't just about comfort. It is a necessary preventive measure to protect your mind, heart, and lifespan. Eighth, the wrong sleeping posture could be a cause of stroke while you're resting. Sleep seems like the safest time of the day, but for people over 70, even the sleeping posture can pose risk to their health and even their lives. Have you ever stopped to think about whether the way you're sleeping is helping or harming your body? Many people maintain the same sleeping position for years without imagining that it could be affecting blood circulation and the oxygen supply to the brain. Sleeping on your back, for example, can be especially dangerous for older adults with sleep apnea, high blood pressure, or heart problems. In this position, the tongue and throat tissues can partially block the airway, reducing airflow and lowering blood oxygen levels. The consequence is that the heart and brain have to work under pressure, which increases the risk of arrhythmias, heart attacks, and strokes during sleep. Even people who sleep on their side should be careful. Always sleeping on the right side can make the process of blood returning to the heart, venous return, more difficult. This means blood has more difficulty returning to the heart. This extra effort can overload the cardiovascular system and contribute to water retention, especially in the legs and feet. The posture most recommended by experts is sleeping on your left side. In this position, the heart works with less pressure. Blood circulation is smoother and the digestive system also benefits, reducing the risk of reflux and heartburn. Additionally, this position improves the oxygen supply to the brain, reducing the likelihood of ischemic events like stroke. To get used to this new sleeping position, some strategies can help. Use a pillow between your knees to keep your spine aligned and prevent back pain.
Place another pillow behind your back to prevent you from rolling over during the night. And if you experience reflux, elevate the head of your bed slightly. Changing your sleeping posture might seem like a small detail, but it can make a huge difference to your cardiovascular and brain health.
Ninth, the healthy habit of drinking water at night can turn into a dangerous trap leading to falls.
Drinking water is essential for health. Everyone knows we should stay hydrated throughout the day, especially as we get older. But did you know that drinking too much water before bed can paradoxically put your life in danger? It might sound contradictory, but science explains that as we age, the kidneys continue to work throughout the night, but the bladder's capacity to hold urine decreases.
This means that when you take in a large amount of liquid before bed, your body will surely need to eliminate this excess during the night. And that's where the hidden danger lies. By having to wake up multiple times during the night to urinate, older adults put themselves at high risk of dizziness, loss of balance, and falls. Especially if it's dark, they are still sleepy and their blood pressure is naturally lower. This type of fall is one of the main causes of fractures, hospitalization, and serious complications in people over 70. Furthermore, fragmented sleep due to constantly having to go to the bathroom affects the nocturnal recovery process, impacting memory, mood, and increasing the risk of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. Another concerning factor is that when you force the heart and blood vessels to process an extra amount of fluid in the body during rest, there will be an increase in blood pressure and the heart has to work harder. For people with a history of heart failure or hypertension, this overload can trigger acute episodes and cardiovascular events.
The good news is that small changes in habit can avoid this problem. During the day, drink enough water to ensure balanced hydration. But at night, gradually reduce your fluid intake, especially in the 2 hours before bedtime. It's also advisable to avoid diuretic drinks during this time, such as coffee, black tea, green tea, or industrial fruit juices. If you feel thirsty before bed, only take small sips of water.
Additionally, keep the path to the bathroom well lit and safe with fixed rugs and grab bars near the bed. Getting a good night's sleep is key, and avoiding this seemingly harmless habit can bring more peaceful and safer nights.
10th, and finally, the signs you ignore every night could be a death warning: snoring, insomnia, and apnea. Snoring at night is considered natural by many people, especially as they get older. But this snoring sound, often the subject of jokes between partners, can hide a serious and silent disorder, sleep apnea. And the most alarming thing is that after 70, this problem becomes even more dangerous. Sleep apnea occurs when breathing is interrupted repeatedly during the night, even if only for a few seconds. Each breathing pause reduces blood oxygen levels, forcing the heart to work harder. This continuous stress during sleep can lead to high blood pressure, arrhythmias, heart attacks, and even strokes. And most frighteningly, most people with sleep apnea don't even know they have it.
Often it is the partner who notices the person snoring very loudly, having pauses in breathing, and sometimes waking up with a choking or gasping sensation.
Besides sleep apnea, another dangerous sign is prolonged insomnia. Difficulty falling asleep or waking up multiple times during the night can be a warning that something is wrong in the body. Lack of deep sleep is directly linked to cognitive decline, memory loss, depression, hormonal disorders, and an increased risk of heart disease.
And that's not all. Poor sleep also affects the immune system, reducing the body's ability to defend against infection and inflammation. If you snore frequently, wake up feeling tired, or feel excessively sleepy during the day, it is essential to see a doctor. Undergoing a sleep study like polysomnography can identify respiratory disorders and guide the best treatment. In many cases, using devices like CPAP, which helps keep the airway open at night, can save lives. Other measures include maintaining a healthy weight, avoiding sleeping on your back, not drinking alcohol or sedatives before bed, and creating a dark and quiet environment in the bedroom. Getting a good night's sleep is not a luxury. It is an essential need for physical and mental health. Now that you know about the 10 nighttime habits that can silently threaten your health and lifespan, it's time to ask a serious question. Will you continue with what's familiar, or will you choose small changes to live safer and healthier?
Sleep is when the body recovers, but that only happens when you create the right conditions for it. It doesn't take anything major. Sometimes it's just turning off the TV earlier, reducing bedroom light, or leaving your phone outside the room. Things that seem small but can help you avoid big risks.
And most importantly, you don't have to do it alone. You can start today with a gentle choice with an act of self-love.
If you found today's information helpful,
Please like, share, and subscribe to the Best Senior Sleep channel so that every night isn't just sleep, but a steady step towards a healthy, peaceful, and independent life after 70. You deserve it. And that journey starts tonight.